Okay.
Hi friends, we are back again on Soaring Through Chaos. And as always, the reason we do these videos is to share stories from people's lives. Some of these people have taken the road less taken. They've gone on to doing things that we normally don't consider as either glamorous or important, but something that's significant in their life. And also, we can hear from their stories how we can deal with our own lives, maybe something fun, something interesting. So Kunal Bhatia is one of those people I met almost 4 years ago. Hi, Kunal. And what
Hi,
was
Shankar.
interesting was I met him at a place where I would have unlikely found somebody like him. I met at the Unconference, the Learning Society's Unconference in Sardar Shahar in Rajasthan, where
I
a
would
lot
like
of
to correct.
fun guys. Huh?
I would like to correct you. You know, that's the place where you're supposed to find people like me and people like you.
Exactly. So we all go to these organizations like an unconference about learning with certain stereotypes in mind. So my stereotype was I had no idea who I was going to meet, but I had some notion of kind of people, and you broke that for me. So that's why. Why don't you tell us what brought you to LSUC and all these kinds of interesting communities? Tell us a little bit about your life, sir.
All right. So the year we met, the LSUC you mentioned, it was a very special time for me. So I have been an actor for a big portion of my life until, and I wanted to just experience something more than just doing something. Like it's more like I was part of a job, and I wanted to move out from that job, and I started exploring new ideas. I started exploring things that I had in my mind, but I was not able to practice them because I was busy with my acting schedule and things. So I took a sabbatical, complete sabbatical, and I thought that I must go and travel the country. So first thing which I did was I went to Himachal in a yoga studio, and I told them that I would like to volunteer, and I gave them my services as a volunteer, and they gave me food and shelter, and I was just there like with them, cleaning the place, managing the space, shooting and editing the videos, and so I had a skill which I could just barter for something which I wanted to learn. And in return, I experienced something very nice. I was in the studio called Himalayan Iyengar Yoga Center, and Sharat Arora, he's a master yoga teacher, and I experienced something really new about like breaking the notions. I always thought yoga was just being flexible and all about this body movements and things, but I was like completely thrown over by the whole idea of what it is, and it opened certain gates in my mind. I was there for 2-3 months, and then I was up for finding people and finding places across the country where it's not just this idea of yoga or this idea about farming, but people who are full of life and who would do unpredictable things. And so me and my wife, we decided to go on a India tour, and we packed all our things in our bag. And I had just fabricated one of my first geodesic domes. It was a bamboo geodesic dome. It's like pieces of bamboo and some metal joinery, and we combine it and we make a structure like a football. And we both just left from the house, and we reached Sardar Shahar, LSUC, and we just arrived, and we were welcomed like, oh Kunal, oh come, and I just informed Manish and people that I really wish to come and I want to volunteer with you guys, and so I arrived a few days earlier than what LSUC started, and I reached there, and like there's so many people, and it's like college festival but on a different scale. Like I was just taken back to my college days. We had that free spirit there, and then what I really experienced was this warmth, this welcoming. First thing was like whoever you are, wherever you're coming from. And it's not like, I'm paying a ticket to come to a festival or something like that. No, you're just coming back home, like, coming to a family. I felt that. And we just settled down, we put up our dome, and Gul had to stitch the cover of the dome, and we started building the dome and things. And all of a sudden, a lot of people just, came in, and like it was just me and Gul, but then everybody just, whoever was there, it was like some kind of tamasha going on, like circus lag rahi hai yaar, kya ho raha hai pata nahi chal raha. And we built the dome, and then I met few people. They're like, oh, I've built this before. And then I met another guy. Oh, you should do this. Then somebody is like, oh, you should try this. So then I started, finding this thing that whenever I build a dome, or like do this activity, all the people who are like around, they also start this thing, like there's this intuitive thing to build, you know so this is something which was very core to me, why I started in the natural building. There's like very instinct core to human nature that you have to build something. You have to build your house, you have to build this place around you, a space around you, you have to create. So that notion of creation is something which I've realized is very strong. And so I dedicated the whole year, which was coming ahead, and years, and like still up to it. So there at LSUC, this activity, this brought together a lot of people, and all of a sudden I have friends, and I have people who are just sharing thoughts. They are like coming about with their life stories, and where all they traveled and what all they've seen. And I was like mesmerized with this whole idea that there's so much that I want to see. I want to go and see those places. And they would just tell you this conversation they had with this particular guy in that farm, and I was like, oh man, I want to go and meet that person. So this just went on. So LSUC was like this first place where we arrived, and then I was like, just just flow. We had no other destination planned. And since LSUC, we had traveled for like years, like 2, 3, 4 years. I still travel. And it was like, this opening to a new universe, new kind of people who are just welcoming, just open. They're not, they're judging you with an open mind. They're scrutinizing you, but with this, thing in heart that, maybe there's something to share amongst us. And I have met so many friends. I have met so many people. I call them my family. Like, some guys like Hasmukh, he's like granddad. And Manish, of course, Bada Bhai. so like this, what I felt is like LSUC, and then of course we met, and we were dancing, and there was this joy of just coming in, smiling and hugging people. Oh my God, shit! I miss hugs, yeah. Now it's because of this situation of pandemic. We can't.
Oh, here's a virtual hug. Let's do it.
Yeah. Oh man.
And it's like literally millions of people around the world are missing that touch. And I asked
Yeah.
one of my friends who is an expert in touch and caring, and she says, if at least in your case, a girl is with you and you have a little 2.5-year-old now, right? Your son?
Yeah.
Yeah, so at least the three of you are there, but there are many people out there who are single or alone because they're away from family and things like that. The least they can do is hug themselves, because touch is so important. At least you have two people with you, and hopefully your parents and others you can go visit once in a while. And some people are not even visiting their parents because of the vulnerability,
Yes.
because of the
Yes.
risk of COVID. Even in
Yes.
the same city, you're in Delhi or suburbs of Delhi, and there are restrictions on travel. And that's exactly why I decided to talk to you. It was really amazing to meet at LSUC, the Learning Society and Conference, and almost meet you at the airport in Bhubaneswar when I was going to my next LSUC, and you and Gul were there celebrating your anniversary, I think third anniversary,
Yes.
which was
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
But you said you like to build, you like to do things, and you're an actor. What took you to IIT? What made you graduate from an engineering college, which, I mean, I was from the same college, which is from
Refined a
mathematics,
lot.
physics. So we are rewinding back.
Yeah, we got to rewind a lot back, a lot back. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
tell us that story. What brought you to a college that prides itself on mathematics, physics, and what they call the fundamentals? And
Okay,
was
so
it a good? Okay.
yeah, Shankar, so you're really taking me back to my like old times when I was a studious guy, but not always
Yes.
a studious. I was a very average, 70, 75 kind of guy till up till like 8th, 9th standard. But then my elder brother, he's my mamaji's son, and he cleared IIT Delhi, and he went to do IIT Delhi, and like I really got curious. I always looked up to him for advice and for counseling, and he told me, dude, you want to make your life, come to IIT, just start preparing, that's it. Like, he was very straightforward, and they were like, okay, this is what I can do. And I was like really into science. So up till ninth I was like 70, 75 kind of guy, but like 10th standard I had to score something above 80, and some to get into a good school. So I studied really hard, and that was the time when I really explored my extent of studies. Like, I was studying 12, 13, 14, 15 hours a day during those days, especially around exams. So, yeah, I was able to score some 84% in my 10th standard. And then I got into DPS Faridabad, which was a very good, like very competitive, spirited school. And best of the kids from all over the city, they came to that school. And it, it really, what really pushed me was when I just came into the school. I was even promoted to a better branch, and it had these guys who I was sure they're going to clear IIT in like I need to learn from them. And it was very rigorous 2 years, 11th and 12th. And but a setback came when I was not able to clear my mains. And this was something, I had a decent rank in AIEEE, and I would have got any good college with computer science and electronics or mechanical or whatever I wanted to. But I was in my counseling in NIT Kurukshetra, and then I was like, Dad, I think I would just want to go to IIT. I just do want that. That's it. So Dad was like, yeah, then decision done. Okay, sit back, prepare yourself for another 1 year and go to IIT, crack it. Are you sure? Like, okay, let's do it. And yeah, that was one beautiful year. I just passed my 12th exam, and I was the head boy at the school, and I had good rapport with my teachers. So they were like, okay, you can come to school and study here as well. We'll give you space, and you can still study in the library. And then I had these classes which I had joined in Delhi. So every day I would get up and then have my own schedule of studies in the morning. Then I would go to school. I would study there for a few hours. Then I would go to Delhi to attend the class at Fiji. Then I would come back at 10 o'clock in the night, sleep. So this schedule went on for good 1 year, and that paid off. It was like consistent hard work, which I realized, and I got through a decent rank. And I realized IIT Delhi is the best place to be. It's close by home. It's everything. And but until then, I had not really realized one fact about me, that in engineering itself, what was that core field that was motivating me. And I realized it was what I got, civil engineering. And 4 years went by, in fun and merry. And I was the kind of inclined towards cultural and other activities also. So I wanted to be in films as well, and make stories. And and I realized that engineers can do a lot with their logical heads, and not like make Bollywood films, but something something interesting to do with it. I was really into films. So after 4 years, I moved base to Mumbai, and I started working in my dream job, which is films and acting. And yeah, so I write scripts, I write stories, I write poetry. I've also done some production, but acting is something which involved everything that you had, like, you had learned, you had experienced, and then you put it through your body and experience it, allow others to experience that emotion in you. So acting was something which I realized was something altogether a different thing, which revealed itself to me for years to come after IIT.
Very interesting story, and I find it fascinating that many people who got into engineering did it because of the excitement and the spirit. I was one of them in the 80s, and
Yeah.
preparation times were much shorter in those days. It was only a few months, not a few years it is now. But my question to you is, why do we do that? And number one. Number two, is it worth it? And many of us don't practice, at least I don't practice classical engineering anymore. I do many more things, different things. So my question to you is, was it worth all that effort? And like say, for example, in your case, you are so determined to get into an IIT. We know a lot of kids who commit suicide because they don't get in. And is it worth the pain? In fact, I met so many people who are unschooling these days, and they seem to be perfectly happy. So it's, it's just a question, a bunch of questions comes to my mind. What do you think about all this?
Yeah, so it's just one simple thing, which is curiosity. I was curious to know answers, and I was curious to gain that knowledge of engineering or science, and it was to be applied in life any which ways. Maybe in hardcore engineering or in life in general. Very very simple ways. It's just logic that's going to come by. So yeah, I understand that a lot of people don't perceive studies with that kind of curiosity, and there's always this pressure and always this different kind of motives to engage in studies. But what I really think is, which is one thing which should people really want to know what to look forward to. It's the curiosity. It's this one simple magic thing, and once that thing is started rolling, I think it can lead to that what do you say, awakening of knowledge. It could be equal to MC square, or it could be designing this big structure or whatever. But that just the what really it, and the age doesn't matter, of course. So when I had a chance, when I was going through that phase of education, uh, and I had all these subjects in front of me, I was never into biology. So if you would ask why so many people want to become a doctor, and if I had tried to be a doctor, obviously I would have freaked out because I am not trying to. I'm not very curious to that kind of knowledge, and so this is the only thing. This is the only difference. So if somebody is not feeling that curious towards that particular subject or that particular idea, and of course they should just move on to other subjects. There's so many beautiful things to learn in the world. So I think if people, your first question was, why do we
Yeah,
people do it?
yeah. And you
Yeah.
answered
So
that. Yeah, that is really nice.
yeah.
And
Second one.
yeah, I'll keep asking questions and you can answer whatever you feel like. Because
I think that was real, right?
yeah, what I find interesting about you, Kunal, is that at various stages of your life, you seem to have followed your passion, your calling. So
Yeah.
after a degree in engineering with all the challenges, you get into acting and movies and what is it, television. Tell us about
Yeah.
that. What was it like to be in the Did you even work as a regular engineer in a factory or in a company? Or did you just go into the movies?
Okay, so I had my share of experience as internships, which was during IIT days in civil sites, and that commercial construction, it didn't fascinate me that much. Although I to the core, I always knew that design and engineering and structures was something which was in my head, but the work area, the work environment, and the things that were around, it was not really fascinating. And of course, then I had my inclination towards another idea, that arts and films and movies. So that felt more something to go forward to. So I took up a job, which was just a job which I needed to just shift base to Mumbai, and it was a very good experience there as well. I got a job in ICICI Lombard. I was appointed as a product manager in the health division, and my job was to start working towards pushing the product in different areas. And I was working with Reliance stores and ICICI banks and different places where insurance products could be sold off. That was a very good experience, and for 9 months only, because I had my goal towards films. But I learned a lot of things about the corporate job and organizations, and like things as teamwork, and it was a good experience. I would not say that it bugged me to the core that, oh no, I want to get out of this place, but it had a lot of learnings in it. But my goal was clear. I wanted to just move towards films, and so I just, in between, I would sneak out to give some auditions, to go meet some guys, some celebrities, and some actors and some writers, and just seek that knowledge, what could be done and how to go about it. So I got that time in Mumbai to explore further, and then I decided to give up my job and just go for it. Like, I had saved some money, and I was like, I can survive for like at least 6 months in Mumbai without getting paid. I was really lucky. I got a show which was offered by Star Plus, and the show was called Sajan Gharjana, and uh, I got the act of the main lead, and that show started in 2009, and I've been acting since then. So yeah, it was just a start. Like, okay, now you're an actor. You were an engineer, you were a product manager, now you're an actor. So it's just that a role shifting completely, complete perspective towards the life had changed. I had to look after my body. I had to build up, and I had to go learn swimming and go learn dancing and go learn horse riding, fighting sequences and sword fighting and whatnot. Like, I've had time of my life, doing all those things. My first show, my first episode, there was a sequence where I had to jump into a stream of river, and from a bridge, and I didn't know swimming. So and, and I was casted already, and the director told me that this is the sequence, this is how it's gonna be, and you'll jump from the rim. And I just froze there for a while, just like for a second. It was like, you know swimming? No. And okay, get your classes started. You have to learn swimming. Okay, so then I joined swimming, and for 2 weeks I had this crash course, and I had to just go about it. And so it was fun that time also. Like, all the kids who were coming to learn swimming at like 2, 3, 5 year old, and then standing with and like, okay, sir, save me.
So it was JE for swimming.
Yeah. And then the sequence came, and I had to just halt my car in the middle of the bridge and just come down and see that there's this girl who's being taken away by the water, and I have to jump. There's a small little child, and I just jumped from this. And just before like the sequence started, I was like, Dad, I love you. I'm just gonna jump. going for the, the stunt. Okay, I'll be fine. But yeah, I just want to tell you I love you. And put the phone up, and then finally I take the scene, and it was fun. It was scary, but it was fun. But then yeah, I did a lot of action scenes. Hence, then I jumped from 15 feet high walls. I was, on the sling and thrown away, and there was this horror show I was doing for called Ahad, and there's this ghost that comes about and does this, and just thrown away like back on the wall. So all these things what we see on TV or on the screen, and there's a lot of science and a lot of mechanics and a lot of things that continuity and things that go about in the background. It's a lot. It's not easy. People think, yeah, oh, you are center of attraction, everything would be easy. No, it's not. But it's definitely a lot of fun. So yeah, I then I have been acting in so many shows. I was part of Jodha Akbar. It was a very different thing. I played a Rajasthani prince, and the whole thing about it was very, very grand. And we were shooting in Amer Fort, and then we were shooting on the sets of the movie Jodha Akbar, and yeah, and then there was this horse riding and grandeur and whatnot. So that was a Balaji show, and one of the biggest production houses. And yeah, then there have been so many other episodes and shows, and I played the brother, I have played the lover, I have even played a rapist. I have played the murderer, I have played the cop, I've done all kind of roles. Yeah, and I still do sometimes. My last one, which was very challenging, I play a role of a trans woman, and it's a mythological show, and she has some kind of powers, and is a he and a she, and also a poet. So it was really great. Yeah, the writers of Bahubali had written that show called Aram. It came on Star again, and it was very, very, very challenging to transform myself from a man, but into a more feminine body. Have long hair, and of course I'm like this tall guy, and so I made a very beautiful woman, and a lot of people told me that I look like my mother. So
Wow.
It was really a great compliment which I got, and yeah, and of course a lot of people were checking me out as well, but that was really fun. So yeah, what the television and what movies and films have given me is like, it has opened another dimension. I could be anybody, and all I need to do is just be in the moment and experience what the moment calls, and just act accordingly. And it has really, shown me things.
So, I find it fascinating, Kunal, that at various stages in your life, you've done various things. How do you decide what you'll do next? And especially now that we are in the midst of probably the largest chaotic moment for all of humanity, the crisis that we are all facing, COVID-19. How do you decide, and what have you decided? What have you been up to the last several months? I'm just curious how you make your decisions.
Okay, so one thing about me has always been that I have always been away from normal. When people say normal life, people say normal way of things. Normally, people do this. Generally, people are like that. So this is something which I've always tried to keep away. So when I was an engineer, I didn't want to be just a normal engineer. I wanted to do more things. As an actor, I just never wanted to be just a normal actor who's just about the self. There has to be something which also has to be about the non-self. And then I moved on from that idea of attraction, all lights on you on cam, all the attention, and then I wanted to be out of the attention completely. And I moved into a space where I'm not celebrated as an actor or somebody you don't know, but you've just seen some we have fascination about, but more celebrated about life, more celebrated about me. Like, how lively is Kunal? What what Pagalpanti he is up to now? What mountain he's climbing right now? What village he's into? Or that's something which I thought that would be something for I should celebrate, and maybe probably my friends would really be curious, like what's he up to. So that was something which really I had this bend that I need to lose this particular self. And being an actor, there are a lot of mental challenges. I always say this, that as an actor, and a lot of people have this, they have this thing called hero syndrome. I'm the hero, and I will be the shining star of every situation, and I will take the things out of, I take the things back in control, or bring back the peace, or bring back the missing things and whatnot. So or not always the hero of, like, I'll fight the goons and this and that, but also like a hero of the moment. So I've always had this within me. And a lot of people, a lot of actors I know, they have this, there's this self-ego they build on themselves, like, I'm this, and then bodies are tight. And the whole idea of framing oneself into this image, that is something which I wanted to break free from. And I believe you would relate to it a lot, because you're into dancing and movement. I think my life is dancing. It's swinging from one space to another, and it's like, it has to flow, and just feel the jitters, and maybe if I stumble upon, I'll roll over, and then I'll dance again and do something more. The whole idea of it is the movement. And but the whole, but I didn't know, like, and what I'm saying right now, of course, I didn't know what I was going to experience. And when I wanted to get out of that frame, fit and this and that, and always up to the gym and six-pack abs, and this kind of look, and I'm the hero. I wanted to just get out of it and experience something which I didn't know existed. And I felt joy, I felt pain, I have felt physical pain. I have tired myself to the extent that finally I get to sleep. Like, that sleep that you get when you're really tired. And these are small things. And I also wanted to just, go and meet other people and have their frames in me. So the whole idea of taking this sabbatical from this life and moving on, surrendering yourself, I thought this is time for me to start working on my NGO. So I've been having this thought in my head, and it's for mango people. And what I call it is as Main NGO. And when you write it in Hindi, Main, and English, NGO, it pronounces as mango. So mango people, Main ek NGO. And as an NGO, I'm a non-government organization. Non-government, ment means mind. So government, or like govern mind, and non-government, which is not governing your mind. And as an organization, it's like a system, but it's going to set you free. It's going to allow this space where you're not governed with other thoughts. You are free. So to be able to be that free, I realized that I need to take some power into my own, which is have this space where you can grow your own food, you can harness your energy, you can build on your own. I don't need others. And to be able to be that self-sufficient within yourself. So the whole premise of Mango People was this, that I need to go and explore what all I can be. Like I have been an engineer, I have been an actor, but that's not it. What more? And then this whole instinct that I talked about, like to build, to create. So as I had these designs in my head which I wanted to do while I was acting also, and I was not able to get time out of it. So I combined all that, and I wanted to do something which is towards sustainable development and which is towards sustainable building. And the 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 structures that I started building were only like a symbol to look forward to in this direction. Look forward for shapes which are not just straight, which are not normal. Look forward for material which are not usually used. Look forward to things that can be done. So well, one easiest thing was to make something with a very easily available material, like bamboo. And then the other thing was I wanted it to be like a Lego kind of thing where we can just makeshift and create something and also do it together very easily. And I always thought that it should be able to be done by anybody. So the design came about where we have these metal joineries and we have these bamboo struts and we combine them. It's all a very basic science, very basic mathematics. You just need the right pieces and you end up making something which is a beautiful dome. And but there is a lot. There's a thought that goes behind that dome. I was inspired by the work of Buckminster Fuller, and he has been a great motivation in my life for looking at the universe, looking at the space around us in a very, very, very unique way, and actually observed as how it is in the nature, like these platonic solids, very, very, very basics of how space forms, basic vectors, tetrahedron, dodecahedron, isocahedron. So geodesics is one of the platonic solids, and Buckminster Fuller had observed C60 fullerene, which he named as fullerene molecule, as something with 60 carbon atoms which are combined to make a complete sphere. And it had this whole in it. It had the totality in it, like, it all that was required to create. And C60 is a 3D geodesic dome. So this all was like in the back of my head and as a theory, as what I had acquired with my curiosity in this field and as an engineer. And I had the skills, and I also had the physique. Building a dome, building something, it requires that kind of you need to go up. It was like everything is meant to be for this, and I wanted to do that. So I went on to start building domes. My first one was around Lsuc, and then I went to Sapna Ranch. I learned more about bamboo as a material. Then I went to Goa. I took some workshops there for 2 months. Then I traveled to Hyderabad. In Hyderabad, we built one dome in a farm. And then I traveled to Noida. In Noida, there was this organic World Congress, and I had put up these 2 domes as a outdoor area for doing workshops. From there, I traveled to Bihar, and there was this professor who wanted to build a small school, and they wanted something very fast. And we had this idea of making it with metal joineries and metal pieces. We built a structure within a week, and then they were to continue with that. And then I had done some structures for exhibitions. Then like I wanted to explore what all can be done like in it. But finally I found the heart in building, designing homes, designing usable, livable structures which use bamboo, which use mud, which use stone, cob, or whatever you can acquire as a material, or whatever you can think of as local material. There are endless number of materials. And the whole idea is that once we start building it, a lot of people come together. The community starts while we are building. The community is right there when it is getting done. And the energy that is brought in to create it with so many like-minded people, so like they have all the knowledge of the universe, they have all they have traveled and they've seen everything, but they are grounded to put their hands and dirty their hands in the mud and make a clay plaster and find that seamless life on that wall. The whole idea is of it, maybe you would say that it's just inert, it's just nothing, but what you are putting in is a lot of life. once you see it from a distance, these kind of structures, these corp structures, they really fascinate me. And I have always had this idea that, I want to build a commune together with obviously people, my community that would come by. And so I'm just preparing my game up for this. So we do workshops with the engineering and architecture students. We do workshops in schools. And I got an opportunity to travel to a very, very special place in Chhattisgarh. And there's this IS officer from Chhattisgarh, and he had invited us to volunteer in a program called Chitrakoot Mahotsav. So Chitrakoot waterfalls, beautiful, beautiful landscape. And every year there's this festival that happens in February, and people, tribes from all around, they would come by, and for 7 days, it's party. Like, people are just having fun. It's a mela, and there is boating competition. There is boat rides. There are people who walk around the waterfall. There is singing and dancing and cultural activities. There are local drinks, and we had merry time.
It's my kind of a place. I remember you invited me, but I was busy.
Yeah, it was quite something.
I was busy
So
at Chota Udaipur, Rangotsav, when you called me, actually, a couple of years ago.
So the whole tribe was there, and we that was something which was really exciting, that it would take me to the core of India to really go and see how people are, and not make a judgment of it, not think that, oh, that's a tribal, that's like there's a trouble going on there, there's a risk of going there, and all those thoughts didn't just bother me. I was like, just go and explore. And I was lucky to find 30 volunteers who were ready to just be there and do things with us. And they came, and we organized a festival, which was something I would say very unique for the people. Where usually what happens is people look up to different festivals where they present the tribals as a what do you say, a monumental performance and things. But I made sure that we brought others to come and show it to them, show the different the world to them. So we organized something called Bastar Got Talent. It was they wanted some celebrities to come and dance and all. I thought, more than that, it would be interesting that these celebrities, they come and they help people get excited about their talent. And so a lot of entries came in, and I was hosting that show, and there were like thousands of people, all these tribal people and locals and people all over from Chhattisgarh and from cities and Jagdalpur had come together, and we were there, and we had two actors, Sanam and Abigail, and they were from Dance India Dance, and the competition went on, and people, the most beautiful part of the whole thing was chai wala was walking by, and he came to me, and he's like,
I said your voice may be fading. You may want to be a little closer to the mic. Sorry.
Yeah. So a chai wala, he came to me and he was like, sir, thank you. मैंने कहा हाँ ठीक है. बोलता है हमारे लिए यहाँ पे आके कौन करता है ऐसा. And I really enjoyed that thing, because what we were able to do was fuse the two things, and different ways of thoughts, like living in a city and merging it with the locals there. We lived there for a month. We did some workshops. We interacted with engineering colleges. We interacted with tribes. So it was a very beautiful experience. Going on, I became a completely dedicated designer, and I've been designing a lot of structures, and I worked with Maharashtra government as well, and I built a cafe for them in Nagpur. But then, a lot of things were happening, and suddenly we are in 2020, and suddenly you realize, oh, it's my kind of year. It's unpredictable. Nothing's gonna make sense now. Whatever you have done, it's gonna go out of the window. Your regular ways, your normals are going to dissolve, and that's what happened. and it just hit we were just observing coronavirus cases and hearing news from Italy, and we were like, it was just the whole tempo was rising, and all of a sudden, lockdown. Modi ji has his favorite thing. He just surprises the country, and he did. And but there was this lockdown, and all right, I was like, okay, I am not the kind of guy who goes to office, so I'm not really bothered. So it's okay, like, everyday life. And it was fine. 1 week into it, the whole migrant issue came about, and my perspective was really it was diluted to the point that I thought that, we really cared about people, we do something. What happened was all the more opposite. The chaos set in, and we asked the people or our guests or our people from our own country to just leave the town, like, just go away. And people just left from Mumbai, from Delhi, and from everywhere. And all of a sudden, this whole chaos that hit. And I was taking life very easily until, but what happened was that the chaos came in front of me, in front of my eyes, and uh, I saw that all of a sudden the maids, they are laid off, the daily wages, they're not getting jobs, and while there is police roaming around and asking people to stay and even beating the hell out of them, but the people, they were not hit by the coronavirus. They were hit by hunger. They were hit by poverty right there. People who would just make a small living every day. And I'm not saying that people don't have things. They have basics, but just to be able to cover that everyday thing, for whatever 2, 3, 400 rupees that is required to pass through the day, 100 rupees that is required to pass through the day of their monthly budget, education for the kid, so many things, it just came to a halt. And online people are doing challenges, sari challenge, and I dress up challenge, and this challenge and that challenge, and people are kind of whoever they're logged in, they were not really affected, but the people on the ground, they were affected. uh, few ladies came by our house, and they needed help. They were like, we need help with ration. And I was like, okay, but I don't have the capacity to take care of all of you guys. Maybe I can help feed few people, but not all of you. Then they were like 10, 15, and I knew that as soon as I would give it to one, 10 will follow. I give it to 10, 100 will follow. I knew that. And that's what happened. So what I did was I made a list of all these people, and we counted 60 people who needed help with basics, ration, and things. And we took it to local bodies, and we told them that, these are the people who need help. And what we got was a very disappointing response. And these are the people who didn't have ration card. These were the people who didn't have a BPL card, and they were not able to take any benefit from the government relief that was being offered. So it came to a point that people started coming every day and asking, like, what's happening. I took it up to the NGO as a task that we are going to do this. We're going to figure out how to get ration for all these people. And so I started writing some posts online, and and a friend responded on Facebook that, okay, go ahead. I just donated to PM Care Fund and this fund. I have some money which I want to dedicate to your thing, and okay, just go ahead and take care of these people. Uh, and it was a decent fund to start with, and we got some ration, and we brought this ration to them. Like next day onward, it was like 50 to 100 people coming at our at our place every day. And this started on 7th of April, and for 3 months, 90 days, we didn't stop at all. Every day 50 to 100 people would come, and these are different people. So what we would do is we would just take their entries, their name, and their basic ID cards, and so that they're not repeating, they're not just, others who need it, they would get it. So we put up posts about donations, we put up requests about donations, we started tracking, following up with the local government bodies. They could help us as an NGO, and we can do the distribution and what all. So there was this scare of the whole coronavirus thing, but I knew that our area was green area at that time, and there was no cases that was reported. So what I really understood was this is the more important thing to take care of. So as taking care of hunger at that time, and then I started reading that hunger is the biggest cause of death otherwise than any other disease. And point is ki we are talking about bringing relief in terms of such a big medical pandemic, but we neglect this ever-going pandemic. These people who are not getting the basics, and it exposed that system for me, because there were so many people who had these ration cards which were not eligible for getting government relief, and they didn't have the right resources to even go forward. And obviously there was lockdown. Now their ration card would not remain, so they just needed help. But then there's another NGO, Banwal Welfare Association, which is kind of a elder NGO for us in locally. They have been doing tiffin service for old age people for a while. They had been doing blood donation camps and a lot of activities. So I sought their help. They helped us with volunteers. They helped us with arranging the ration and things. And I brought in some donations, and we started distributing ration. It went on with donations, and ultimately there were like 4,000 families who came by in this period, and we like I would say 15 to 20,000 people got relief through this activity in this time. We also were happy to get associations with Zomato Feeding India, and they send us a lot of dry ration which we repackaged and gave it out. And then there's another NGO called Stridhan. They donated certain funds. So we had funds for ration. So we thought that we should also be able to take care of a few other things. So we started funding the books for kids, for these people only who were not able to take care of the fund the books in this period. So about 50 people, 50 kids, they received their books in this time. And some people need medical help apart from COVID, old age people. So all the donations that came by, and we allotted certain funds in different things, whatever felt necessary, whatever needed to be done. And it has been happening until. And in the process, what we did was the unlock started, during this time. Just certain jobs are open now, and so we didn't want the people to be dependent on us. We were not there before the situation. We were just here to solve this situation, whatever is required, and the situation is getting on track. So we will just subside. So there is an exit plan to this, and we didn't want to just make them dependent on this whole thing. So the unlock period started, and I came up with a thought that these people, they should not just take in the energy, they should also give back. So if we are doing social service, they should also be doing social service. So I tried telling people, you need ration, you can go and do your job, and you can just start working, you can earn, and you can do this. They're like, we don't have a job. Okay, then I told them, okay, I'll give you a work, and in exchange I'll give you ration. So the work was very simple. It was a community thing. So we adopted 2 parks, and we started with maintenance of these parks. We started cleaning up the places. We started cutting the grass, overgrown grass, and plantation. And then we had some bamboo with us. And there was another thought that we could put a dome there. And so I got all these people together, and they were cleaning the bamboo. They were they would dig the foundation and prepare the whole structure. So in the process, what happened was I had these goals in my head, like, okay, I can get a structure done by anybody. and these were all laborers. They were like hardworking people. They, whatever you tell them, they will do it. So they didn't have this thing that, you know, he's asking me to cut the grass. I'm like, the grass is not in my house. It's in the community park. You come and sit here. So let's do it together. You know, if you're feeling shy, I can come and cut for you. And then I was there with them, and all these people were around, and it was, you know, it was very, uh, I would say, very, very overwhelming at points, because people didn't realize the situation of the coronavirus. They were more into like, oh, ration, you know, they just want to go and grab it. And we would ask them to fall in line, but then, you know, they would just be very close, and then the neighbors would come, and the certain days police came by, and they were like, you know, they thrashed everybody out of the space. And there were like so many different situations. And then people would come at my house in the morning, like 6 o'clock, and we would register their names, and in the evening they would come for ration, and every day new people would come. So the whole situation became so overwhelming that, you know, there is no system exactly in place. You know what I mean? Like by the government, by the local bodies, there is certain acts, but, you know, by the
Just
time
put you
they're
on
done
pause.
filling the
I
form,
just put you on pause because looks like we have people painting and शायद हमने सीमा ने lock कर दिया उनको. Let me open it up.
yeah, it's recording already. Stop
Sorry,
recording now.
I stopped
Yeah,
recording.
it's
Oh, okay. I'll.
so the whole situation, which, you know, came unprecedented, and it just arrived, and it just brought me into this whole space that, you know, now keep all your other things aside, you know, just come down to basic humanity. People need help. If anything, that if I write a post, and if it can help generate some donations, I have to do it. If I want to just I have to go about distributing ration myself, I have to do it. And I was happy that so many people, they understood the need of this, that need to be done. And we were there, out there for the service. And like all the donations that they went into the ration, buying ration and books and some medics. And what eventually has come about is that we as a people, we don't really think about people from lower economic class as much. It's so easy for us to discard. And that's what happened. A lot of jobs laid off, and basics were not solved, and people didn't receive their salaries for months. I heard so many stories. Like, it's not like I can generalize it, but at large, there are so many people who are not bothered what happens to others at all. And of course, you know, economy and funds and all these are, you know, they are necessary to be taken care of. But what most importantly is necessary is to do the right thing, which a lot of people didn't do. And the rather than being a like a biological or a health pandemic, it turned out to be a system pandemic. It turned out to be a system failure. That, you know, every few days we would receive the head of the country, and would come about and not really solve, or he could not solve, or whatever he could do, he did. Point being, whatever I thought I could do, at least locally, at least around me, and reach out to people as much as I could. I did that, and it turned out that we were successfully able to do, you know, complete this mission while this pandemic is still going on. So still, certain relief work goes on. We have a few ladies who want to start tiffin services. Some people who want to start very basic, you know, cart, and start selling vegetables and things. So there's this lady who's paralyzed. She needs help with her medical bills. So whatever funds we have generated during this period, we are applying them for all these causes, helping these people. And yeah, we're going to continue with the basic core thought of Mango people. developing parks, start growing your own food. We just built one, structure, a natural structure. It's under construction right now. So, I want the people in the cities also to see now the whole system is exposed and their perspectives have been broken. They should also see, what all other possibilities are there. When people have realized they have to do a lot of things by themselves, cleaning their house, chadu pocha, khana banana, so many other things. So why not also grow your own food? Why not harness your energy? Why not build your own home? And eventually, so these are very, very small steps which add up. And once we arrive at that space, in our head or in reality, you would have your dream house or dream land or that safe space. So we are ready. So Mango People is all about those skills, acquiring those skills, and I experience them for myself, and then I ask others to follow and at least try for themselves. So the whole experience in this pandemic has brought me to this experience of running an NGO for a humanitarian cause, and apart from all the science and engineering, but the experience was like so overwhelming that I felt detached for the need of it to be done, but I was also detached from it from a perspective that I had to shout at people. I had to tell them to fall in line. I had to tell them no. Today I'm not giving ration. I had to tell them that come tomorrow, come day after, because we don't know who has how much. They were going for jobs, they would still come. So eventually what turns out is, even when you try to help, there are certain people who want to take extra benefit out of that help. It's coming to you, but no, you just want to jump the line. It's coming to you, no, but you want to take two rather than one. When everybody's getting one, just, okay, take one, but no, I want to take two. I want to come again. I want to bother you. So the whole situation, personally for me, it was so draining, like overall, like so many people and so many voices coming out, and they're not very sweet voices. And if you refuse, they would just shout back at you. Until you're giving, they're all fine. If you stop giving, they would shout back at you. So I saw very different phases. I saw different emotions with the people that's going about, and I don't promise to be provider for all. I'm just coordinator for few. I'm just helping few people. Coordinating from some and taking it to the others. So that's what happened, and it somewhere helped me. Realize that it's whatever needs to be done should be done. Like the mantra that like it started with. So it was required and it was done.
Wow, you've gone through a lot. I had no clue. I was thinking you were probably doing some other new movie stint or something online, and I had no clue at all. In
No,
my
no.
case, I was actually alone most of the time, which is so unlike me. I was alone because I was in Mexico and um, in a place where I didn't know the language, and there were so many
Yeah, so
uncertainties.
just been a few days that I've been in isolation. I felt exposure, that I was exposed to certain someone who may be ill, and there were few increasing number of cases around. So I got myself tested without having any symptoms, and it turned out that I am corona positive. And
Really?
yeah, and I got my test results 10 days back, and since last 10 days I have been locked in my room.
So essentially, you are in quarantine right now.
Yes,
Are you
but
showing any symptoms?
nothing at all. I'm so glad about it. I'm grateful about
Yeah,
it. That
because you have a 2.5-year-old. Well,
yes, and yeah, and there were a lot many other lives which were very tightly connected, and there's so many people who were coming and things. So there was obviously this danger that someday this could come close by, and while a lot of precautions were taken, but I recall one incident where a certain somebody sneezed close by, and I doubt, I don't know how it really came in, but maybe through that. But yeah, so since then, it's just been a precautionary thing going on, and I've been in isolation for last 10 days, and yeah, another few 7 days to go before I'm free to move around. But
Well,
yeah, again,
I'll pray for your safety, but millions of people are going through this scenario right now.
yeah, yeah.
And I haven't been tested yet. And I traveled from South Korea to Mexico uh,
Shit,
to
really.
Amsterdam to Delhi to here. So if you look at the names of the places, they are all the high risk, even San Francisco. I was cautious, but we can't be completely cautious. And I was doing
Like,
workshops in between, and towards the
yeah,
end, everything is gone online.
I
But
think I think
these are
the
tricky
most important,
times.
yeah, but most important is for you to have this inner strength and
Yes.
feel good, feel your own body and understand where you are. So I'm really thankful that no symptoms have shown up, and all it has been a very quiet, very not like quiet. There's been loud music. There's been loud.
But still inward looking.
Yeah,
I would
like
I would
not.
not have even guessed that you had tested positive based on how, the last 1 hour that we've been talking. I would not even have guessed it.
I'm completely fine. So and
There's
it's just
zero
that
symptoms. Yeah.
just the test came positive. So I'm like, there's nothing about it. I'm like, okay. And then the hospital guys, they called me and like, okay, you have to be home quarantined. And like, okay, is there a medicine or anything that I need to do? No, just take care, just eat healthy food and this and that. If there's any
How about
symptoms, then
family
tell us.
members? How about Gul and your little one?
They all tested negative. I'm
Good,
really
good.
happy with that as well. So probably I would have. I think I did the test in the right time before I could, if at all it is right, and howsoever it is. But yeah, I've had some good time, alone time, watching a lot of movies, catching
Maybe
up
you're going
on.
through your Amitabh moment, huh? Even Amitabh Bachchan, the
Of course, no comparisons to anybody, but
each
it's
one
like
of us is going through our journey. Each one of us,
yeah,
truly.
4 months when everybody was locked in, I was on out on the streets. Now everybody's gone back, and I am gone inside. So it's very normal as per my schedule. I usually do the opposite. So it's happening in that fashion. The universe knows my ways of working, so it has put me into position, and yeah, it's like I'm
So
also
what
catching up.
next? What next? What do you? I mean, I'm sure you'll do fine, and we are all there for you. We are all praying, and if you need any help, I'm sure there are hundreds of people who are there. Where do you go next? Are you planning, or are you looking at what next, or are you just going to allow it to happen?
Yes, of course, allowed to happen. But yeah, brush up on certain things. Like for 4 months, this relief activity was so drenching, and so this time I'm just brushing up on my designs and catching up on some new projects that could come up. And I want to start building again, and also preferably get back to some on-screen time, experience some acting. Now the 2020 has shown that anything is possible. So might as well just go out and do whatever that you want to do. That's what I want to do for myself, and I advise everybody just freak out, just go out there, just be.
If there's one thing you were to tell people, I mean, I know we're all going through this. Each one of us is getting our lessons, and it's not like what you learn can be transferred to others. But is there anything significant that you learned through this whole process? Some people will say, "Oh, never do NGO work." That I'm not hearing that from you. Or some people will say, "First take care of yourself and others." I'm not hearing that from you. What do you think you learned from this whole process?
Yeah, don't listen to me. Take care of yourself. Yeah, so yeah, it's been my journey, and of course everybody has their own priorities. So I always say this, and I'll say it again: do what needs to be done. So you know what needs to be done. you know what you want to do, so just go and do it. And so I have this theory. It's a very beautiful play of words. It's called I am now here. And when you put those words together, it also reads I am nowhere. So the whole idea of existing and non-existing, you know, in the present is in those four words. And I I want to tell everybody that, you know, just probably if you want to experience this mantra, you can try it. I am now here and nowhere. So this attachment with detachment from existence and, you know, non-existence, it's all just going to happen. And we may or may not have any control. We may or may not have any choices. We think we have choices. We may not have it. We may not have. It probably would be that we have the control and we are thinking otherwise, that we don't have it. So I think going into all those things and overthinking and, you know, just putting a lot of pressure on your head about all this is just probably waste of time. And better put your head into something meaningful to do and something creative, and, you know, just go out and probably dance and you know, climb that mountain and, you know, meet that girl or a boy if you want. But yeah, just do it. Just go and have fun. And yes, look out for each other. Like, you know, be kind. Be really kind and look out for people around. You know, someday you might need help and it would just come by.
Yeah, I love that now, here, and nowhere. And there's another one that I like very much, which what you went through reminds me of, and that is when we don't see the sacred, it's because we are scared. Scared and sacred are anagrams, and when we are scared, we don't see the sacred. It's all about enemies and defense and somehow hunker down, and which is understandable. There's fear, there's concern, there's challenges. But in the midst of it all, if we are able to breathe, which is what the biggest challenge is right now, then we
Yeah.
can see the sacred also.
I was attending a tarot session once, and there was this. There were many things that came about. You know, life would go like this. And then this one card that came by, and I recalled it. It was a card of a fool,
Mm.
and a fool is a dressed like a joker, and he's dancing, and he's dancing very close to a cliff, and his one foot is just on you know, about to take the
On the
plunge,
edge.
on the edge, and his one foot is on the earth. And so when I saw that, I was like, "What? Do you look like a fool to you?" My friend was doing that session, and she's like, "Oh, shut up! It's such a beautiful card. Why?" Like, you know, the fool is the one who have the ultimate faith on the universe. You know, he doesn't know, he even doesn't know that he is the fool. He doesn't know. Others may think he is the fool, but, you know, he has the ultimate faith on the universe, and he's okay to take the plunge, and universe is going to lead his way. Don't worry about it. So, like, be happy. You are the fool. Okay.
That happens to me when I dance. I pretend like I'm Govinda in the movie Partner, and I'm just like let go. But as something similar in Indian culture is the Vidushak or Mera Naam Joker, the movie in which Raj Kapoor actually describes that the life of a joker. And I think it was there in some other movies too, probably in English or in other languages. To be able to see the humor in it all, to be able to continue the dance,
Yeah.
what do they call Tandam Nritya, the dance of Shiva,
Oh,
whether it's through good times like Ananda Tandava or through bad times, which is Patal Bhairavi, to be able to just embrace the dance.
yeah. And to be true, the whole situation that has come about recently, it has only shown us that, you know, we as humans have been walking a very the path of disaster, and
Yeah.
Earth foremost needs healing, and we logged in has been very good for the earth. And but just today I read an article that the chemical level is also rising in Yamuna again. So all this period, all this while, it was quiet, it was so nice, earth was healing, and now the whole madness is unleashed on the universe, on the planet earth. And we really need to rethink what life we want to make. And it's not it's the cities and these places, they are turning out to be the place of disaster. They're going to, like, doomsday is
Yes.
close by.
And
And
it's funny you're saying that, because it's like we know those who exercise regularly, if they stop exercising, their body gets flabby again and goes out of control. Yeah, Riyaz, if you sing for a few days and you stop singing, the voice gets rusty again. And it's the same thing. I mean, throwing chemicals into the water is not a very helpful thing. And yeah, for 3 months we stopped that, and the Yamuna got cleaned, the Ganga got cleaned up on their own. So it's not that the environment is getting affected, we are messing it up. So it's becoming clearer.
yeah, and everybody keeps asking what is the new normal. I'm like, please, no, don't get back to the earlier normal. At least, think about the new normal has to be well thought through. And even I remember this one thing. Maybe you would be able to tell me better about it. Like Mahatma Gandhi said that we need the kind of India we are imagining. We need to shut down the whole system for a while and restart.
I
The
didn't know
ways.
that. I didn't know Gandhi
Yeah,
said that, but it makes sense. It makes a
yeah.
lot of sense.
Yeah, and but nobody followed. And the continuance of whatever was left, and there's no cleaning of the space, and there's no cleaning of the system, and it's just going on. And whatever gets done by this government gets undone by that government, and this whole circle of this stupid
It
competition
sounds
that
very
we are.
colonial, isn't it? It's like we are
Yeah.
continuing, some foreign power is ruling us. There's so much disconnect between the governance and the
See, India has
people.
always had all these people from all over the planet who had come, like Mughals had come and Britishers had come. So there's always been this continuation. But we, as humans, we need to realize that, okay, that's another topic. The cultures and all that, another topic. But we need to start thinking of what is the new way of life, which can be more connective and easy to
Inclusive.
comprehend. And yeah, it includes everybody, and not like this only a pyramidical rise that you see, but a wholesome society. But sadly, the new normal is going to be as bad as the last normal. And
You know, I'm so glad you brought this up, because it's very easy to get cynical. Robert Taylor, who I spoke to, who has been also going through this, we were talking about this just 2 days ago, and he made a statement that it's like before Christ and after Christ, BC and AC, or BC and AD. So this is like before COVID and
Mhm.
post COVID. But post COVID is not the politically correct COVID. It has to be a COVID that will co create with possibilities. What,
um, uh,
what possibilities do we want to co create? Each one of us, you were able to make a difference. You are able to make a difference in the lives of a certain number of people, and
but
they
that
were
was
able to make
temporary.
a difference in your life.
But that was temporary. These people, they were going to go back to their lives, and they're going to forget that something like that happened. And that's what we do. And there is no continuation of what is really necessary, but there's a continuation of the old habits, which are
Mm,
if
mm.
I could do it, and few bunch of people like 30, 40, 50 people who contributed in this whole activity, they were able to do this. And if you would count, there would be like only a bunch full of people who had taken care of this whole situation. NGOs have worked day and day night
Yes,
during this time,
yes,
and
yes. Same thing
and
in Bombay, same thing in
it
Bangalore,
was
all over
nobody
the
asked.
world, all over the
Yeah,
world.
and it was not as a duty, but it was like like a instinct thing which I felt that everybody came together. Now,
Yeah.
because they were scared, there's this fear, and then everybody came together. But why not now? Then they come out of the fear. Now we can come together and do something about it. But I think that's a fantasy. Yeah.
Well, for a couple of things. Corona is still here. She's not gone yet.
Yes. It's not yet post-COVID.
And hopefully, if you know what happened in the last pandemic 100 years ago, it had long-term repercussions. It's not something, I think people are dreaming. We all are dreaming that it'll just go away. Just because the government stopped the lockdown. All over the world, many governments are stopping the lockdown. And I have the dream that I'll travel again. But I think we'll be fooling ourselves to think that it'll just go away in one day. So a
But
lot is
there's
going to happen
also
still.
But there's also this one thing that I saw this beautiful meme. It had a cartoon of Tom, the Tom and Jerry cat, and like when the coronavirus was announced, so everybody's running away and running away, and finally there's this cartoon of the Tom with the gun right here. And the coronavirus, like at the top, there's so many cases, lakhs of cases, and we are all roaming around freely. There's no fear. Then there's traffic jam, and there's people in the market, and everybody's just chill. So it's like people get over it. People get over this thing, and in today's world, we need something new, fast, every day. And this whole thing is driving this mental state. You can induce fear very quickly, and you can also get out of it very, very quickly. And probably it's a good lesson to take back forward, like I would say, to whenever we are feeling anxious and there's this fear that comes by you can just also take it out of your system very quickly and come over it. And I was anxious, what I would do. How will I take care of so many, so much funds and so many people? But then everything came about because I just kept trying. So
Mm.
just need to do like whatever is necessary. You need to write a post, you need to tell a story, you need to go talk to 10 people, you need to go talk to the Prime Minister itself. Just go and do it. But you have to do it.
Yeah. One of the things that we do in therapeutic dancing is called the movement of chaos. The closest
Oh,
to that in Indian folk dances, we have that. Um, it's called the Kalima's dance or the Kalbelia from Rajasthan. Ah, ra, 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 ra. There is no rhythm. The rhythm goes chaotic, and you still keep dancing.
hmm.
And you see that in many dance forms. In tribal dances, it's very common. We see that in tribal dances in Africa, in Odisha. Essentially, there's a smooth flow. Everybody wants that smooth flow. And then there's I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. And then things go out of control in careers, in lives, in marriages, in parenting. So
Hmm.
there's a lot to learn from chaos. And thank you for telling the story of what chaos looks like. If somebody thinks that there's a simple solution to chaos, I'm sorry, there is none. There is no simple solution. I mean, any one of us can guess, oh, what should Trump have done? What should Modi have done? They did the best that they could. You
Yeah.
did the best you could. I did the best I could. Second guessing
Yeah.
is very easy.
That is that is true.
If there's anything
And
I
yeah,
have learned, is to be humble and not say,
yeah,
अगर मैं मोदी की जगह होता तो अगर मैं ट्रम्प की जगह अरे लेकिन you're not in Modi's place. I'm not in Trump's place. I'm in Shankar's place, and you are in
right.
Kunal's place. It's
Let
like
me
being a
let me
theater
take care of
actor.
what Kunal can do.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying like let me take care of what Kunal can do about it. And
Yes,
that,
yes, yes.
that's why my NGO. Like I need to take care of me. I need to compose me, and then go about with the organization and with the world or interaction with the world. And yeah,
A man goes towards. A man is going to go
man,
do things. Mango people.
man goes towards people.
Yes. Well, I'm so
Which
glad. It was wonderful catching up with you, Kunal. And I've learned so much from you over the years. Please give my greetings to Gul. I had a question in mind, but we are out of time. I wanted to know how you and Gul met, but we can reserve that for next time.
okay, it'll be very quick. So we met in
Yeah.
school.
Please tell us.
We met in school, and then we met again in college days. And you can say we can school time lovebirds.
Wow. Please give my regards to Bhavi, and you both are such wonderful people. And
Thank you.
if people want to get in touch with you, if they have any questions, because of all the things, we are still going through chaos. It's not over yet. At least
All right.
it
So,
seems to be a flow, but we don't know what's next. Nobody knows. Anybody who says that they can guarantee that, I'll give them $1 million. I can easily bet on that.
one thing
But
I can guarantee is fun conversation. And that's it. If anybody is feeling anxious and they need to reach out to somebody and they feel that they want to reach out to me and through you or to you, yeah,
yeah,
the fun conversation is something which I can offer also. So
so
yeah, I mean,
we'll share some contact information like Facebook page, Mango People page, and of course people know how to get hold of me. So I'll share all the basic links that people can
okay.
get hold of. And what's your preferred way? How would you like people to touch base with you? Is it through the website or?
I think there are two simple ways to get in touch with me or as an organization. So our website is www.mangopeople.org.in, and
Mhm.
same is our Instagram handle, mangopeople.org.in, and
Oh,
my personal my personal Instagram handle is i.am.now.here.
oh.
So I think it's easy to remember, and you will do the rest.
Yeah, so we will share that, and I'll also share my connectivity. And if there's a need to have another follow-up session, we can always do that. But thank you again
And
for those who are staying still here. Uh,
thank
I am now here, and so are you. And
you.
we're
Yes.
going to go nowhere.
We are now here.
We are now here, and then we'll slowly drift back into the ether.
Yeah.
Wonderful
Take care.
reconnecting with you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you.